Okay, we are live. You're getting rid of that shot here. Do you want to sit on my lap?
No.
Good, because I don't want you to... Ooh, yuck. Ick. No, I don't think so. So, hello, everybody. We are on the air, and we are live. And who's here today joining us? Say hello, and we'll get started in a moment or two once we see everybody's been able to connect okay.
Yeah. So it's hot out there.
How hot?
27 degrees.
Ooh.
But actually it's not. It's humid. That's what the problem is.
Yeah. Hi, Donna. Hi, Judith. Yeah, so is it hot in your areas? It's hot out here. Walter says
Well,
27.
We're Canadian. We can't stand the heat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we'll bitch about it, and then in about a month's time it'll start going cold again, and we'll bitch about that too, so we're never happy. Hi, Angel.
Hi, Angel. Where am I?
I don't know. Where are you? You don't know where you are. We're just waiting here for a minute to see who else is joining in, and we'll get things going here. We don't have anything specific to really talk about, but has that ever stopped us before? No. I'm sure we'll find things to talk about. Well, I've got a few things on my list as well, and I am sure we will diverge from some of the conversation as well, as we often do. So have you got hooked in now?
I'm just trying to figure out what it is in Fahrenheit. It's 80.6 degrees in
Oh,
Fahrenheit.
well, that's not hot. But I don't know.
Well, when you're cutting the lawn and it's humid,
Oh,
I
you
kind
cut
of
the
start
lawn?
sweating buckets. So
Donna says it's cool and rainy there. Hi, Teresa. Warm, but there's a breeze. Judith says where she is. Well, anyways, you know, we don't get a lot of summer where we live, so I'm not going to complain about it. You've heard me say that before. Now, play nice, Wendy says. I don't play nice, Wendy. It's no fun to play nice. So, okay, well, let's get into things and talk here and see where it would go. So let's talk about my mother. I think I told you last week that she did indeed have a UTI, but I think she's on antibiotics, and I think she's okay with all of that. I'm still not sure, though, whether that was causing her to go like a little mental. I'm getting a little pissed off with the administration at the new home. The chief administrator does not answer my emails at all. I don't think she answers anybody's emails, and I'm getting a little perturbed with this. And I've given her, well, I wrote a message to her about Wednesday. I've heard nothing from her. I was asking her about what the regulations were, how they were handling coming in visiting, because apparently right now we're in step 3 of our reopening session, and that means we can go into the nursing homes now, as long as we've had our shots, or they'll test you, and you got to bring proof, I guess, of your shot. But I want to know what the specifics were for my mother's home, because the government says check with them, and the government's explanation is all very, very confusing. It almost contradicts itself in parts in the whole bit. So, you know, get it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So I sent an email. And I had a few other questions too. And I did mention in that email that I put it this way. I was disappointed that my mother's been there almost 6 weeks or so, and there has not been any kind of welcoming letter or anything to the families that I have seen. I kind of put it in, did I miss that? Give her a chance to make an excuse. I've had no response. No response. So I'm going to try again next week, tomorrow. I'll give it a couple of more days. If I still get nothing from her, I'm going to her boss. And I'm going to copy my messages to the boss and say, you know, I understand everybody's busy, but that's life, isn't it? And we would have really appreciated a short note from the administrator. If this had been the administrator at the old place, who just retired before my mother got moved, holy crap, we were getting information from her every day, pretty much, keeping us right in the loop on everything. Now, of course, that was her nature, I think. In fact, we did get an email this week that came out about visiting, and it was from her, from the old administrator, who's supposed to be retired, but now it looks like she's working as a consultant for them of some sort, which is fine, you know. I wish she was the administrator of the new place because, well, she talked to me. kind of a deal. But anyways, I'll work on that. I mean, after all, it's my mother's money that's keeping her in the place. I mean, they do have a responsibility to stay in touch with the families and things like that. So, anyways, we'll see what happens. But talking about
Hi, Patsy. No, actually, this is an older shirt that I'm wearing. Two shirts I was working on are still waiting for buttons to be sewn on. I just been procrastinating doing it.
Hi, Jeannie.
And yeah, so this one looks similar, but it's an older shirt that I did.
Hi, Cindy. Hi, Marlene. Yeah, this is not one of Walter's shirts that I'm wearing. This is an old rag that I've had around for quite a while. Is there anything on it? There was something on it earlier today. I think I got it off it. Don't want to look like one of those old men in a nursing home where everything's on their front, you know. Marlene says, hi guys, I'm back. We have smoke problems from the BC fires. We pray for them. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And I guess California has them too. Seems like it's not summer unless California and BC are burning.
Yeah, meanwhile, we've been getting a fair bit of rain fairly often. And I guess in Europe it's just been flood city, so.
Bonnie says, my mother's been in the nursing homes now since March and I've never received anything from them either. Slack. Yeah, and you want to know something, Bonnie? A squeaky wheel gets the oil, and I can squeak a lot if I need to, and I'm going to do it. I want to know things. But anyways, as I was saying, I'm going to talk to my mother this week on FaceTime, as I always do, but my sister and I have decided we'll be able to go over and visit her next Tuesday. And so I'm going to let my mother know about that, because my mother has a tendency to, when you get over there, she's in bed. And, you know, I never know. You've heard me say this a million times. I never know if she's sick or if she's not sick. So anyways, and my sister's had both shots as well. So we're going to go over, we'll take her over some candy and some stuff, you know, make it an occasion and check out her room. I've got a few things to hang up in her room if she likes them. And we'll do that and we'll look around and assess it and see what else that she might like to have in the room to, you know, it's her home, to dress it up a little bit. Although, as I said to my sister, I think it's more me than my mother that cares about that. But I don't know. I don't want to walk into a room and see stark four walls. It's where she lives. So, anyways.
Yep, we both have haircuts.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. But Teresa says Northern Ontario's on fire too. Yeah.
Yeah, Teresa, I did all my buttonholes. But I haven't done the buttons yet. I guess I have to get into a mood to do the buttons. I just do them on the machine, but it's not that hard. Once I get going at them, it's okay. It's just...
Hi, Laura.
It's just I have to be in the mood to do them.
And we are. And Bonnie says that she's been to visit twice a week at least, and she hasn't introduced herself, the new Min. Yeah, I know. And like I said, maybe I was spoiled by the administrator at the old place, because she was excellent. Absolutely excellent.
I think you were, because I think when my mom was in nursing home, I talked to the administrator and regular. Actually, that's true. I did talk to her regular, and I used to get fairly a response within a day or two.
Well, I'll be getting responses because I'm going to maybe drop into her little office if I can find it when I'm over there when we go over for a visit. And if I see her sitting at her desk or something, I'll just stick my head around the corner and go, here's Johnny! And I'll scare that shit out of the bitch. So, I mean, I don't have... I've already got something against her. And I probably shouldn't have this against her. But this situation where she's not even sending a quick email out is making me think negative things. She was the administrator, was she not, at the other home?
As far as I know,
the sister home to my mother's old home, and that they moved all those residents in first because they're tearing that one down. And they had outbreaks over there, major ones, and I get the feeling that she is not...
Actually, Martinwood never had an outbreak.
I thought they did.
No.
Oh, okay, never mind that then. Oh well, such is life. I mean, I know they work hard, and I know that it's a thankless job that they do, but it's still a job. They're still getting a paycheck. You know, if you didn't want to get into this business, then why did you go for it? Kind of a thing. So I don't know. Bonnie says expectations are good. It is their home and we should have expectations. Exactly. It's their home and my mother's paying over $30,000 a year to live there. So, kind of a thing. Of course, then again, I don't want to ruffle too many feathers and have it fall back on my mother. I mean, I would hope that they would be professional enough not to do that kind of thing, but you never know. There are some crazies out there. Well, some. So anyways, that's what I have planned, and so we'll see. And I'll be honest, I went when she was in the old home every week, once a week. And so did my sister. And with FaceTime, is there any need for me to go over there? I don't think my mother cares whether or not. So I think I suggested to my sister, and she seems to agree with me. We're going to spell each other off. One week I will go, the next week she'll go, then I'll go. So alternate weeks. And on the weeks that I don't go, I'll set up a FaceTime with her. So, if I need to go more regularly than that because there's something that's come up, well, yeah, I will. But, the thing is, when you go over and visit her, it's bad enough when I'm on FaceTime. The conversation is all one-sided. Because I ask her, what's new? Nothing. Okay. Have you heard from anybody? No, I don't remember.
Well, sometimes it just being in the same room as the other person is different than doing it over FaceTime.
Well, yeah, I understand that. I get that. But then I feel bad when I'm over there because the conversation lasts, if I'm lucky, 5 minutes. And I don't want to just get, well, it's been a slice and take off. So you've been with me. And so you're looking for things to talk about and whatnot. No, do you have grandkids that can take their... Bonnie, we're gay. We do not have children. My sister has children. And they have gone over before, but they're kids. Well, kids, they're young adults. And think about it when we were that age, in our very early 20s. Did we really want to spend time with old people?
Yeah, like my mother, when she was in a nursing home, it was either one of my sisters, me, or my sister, my other sister when she was still alive. But my niece and nephew never went over there unless it was with her mother, because they didn't feel right being with my mother on her own.
Well, your mom had dementia too.
Yeah.
And
I don't know, those kids probably don't know what to talk to your mother about either.
Well, no, they don't. I don't know what to talk to her about. I just rattle on. I make a list every week. Before I call her, I make a list of things that come to my mind that I can bring up to her. And those things are stuff that
probably don't mean anything to her.
They don't. The closest I get is occasionally if I find out that somebody she knew is dead. Then there's always that to talk about.
But you mean, yeah, I know lots of men do have children. We don't have them, though.
Yeah, but we don't have them. We don't want them. Well, I'm beyond my childbearing years now.
And I know I don't have it. And I know I don't have any. So, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not completely, absolutely sure, but I'm sure they would have raised their little heads now. But that's a story for another day. And God, no. Cindy says, did you ever find the missing quilt at your mom's room? No. Nope. One quilt has just gone by the wayside, and I think I told you about the one that I was going to take back over, the Tree of Life one I call it, and then I got looking at it. I had washed it and everything, and I hung it up to take a closer look at it and take a picture of it, because it's a beautiful quilt, all hand done by my grandmother. It was made, I don't know when it was made. I mean, it's not like we're talking 100 years ago, but I would say that quilt was probably made at maybe 50 or 60 years ago. I don't know if she'd made it before I came on the scene or after. I don't ever remember seeing my grandmother ever working on a quilt. But it's beautiful. But it's all hand sewn. It's all hand patchwork. She cut out templates from cardboard for it. The applique is all hand applique, and it's not raw edge, it's needle turned applique. It is a phenomenal quilt. I am sure if it was ever entered in a quilt show, it would win a prize. Well, my grandmother's not around anymore. Who would know that I didn't do it? No, I'm not doing that. But then I got thinking about it. The value of that quilt, not just, family heritage value, but just the fact, a quilt like that, what that would cost today, I'm not leaving it at the nursing home to see it go walking off. I told my mother that. I said, Mom, I got looking at that quilt, and that quilt is not coming back here to the nursing home. I don't want to take a chance. So
Why that if they throw it into one of their laundry mats, it gets cooked and
yep.
and it'll get ruined. So.
Now, mind you, that quilt was made to be washed, and I did wash it. But mind you, I'm not washing it in an industrial machine that cooks everything. So I do want to take the chance.
Yeah, like anything that goes into those those industrial washing machines is just the crap is just washed out of it. Not only that, they throw all kinds of different colors in together. And,
well, yeah, and
it ends up being gray. So
and this quilt is a white quilt, too. Like the background is in white. But it's a phenomenal quilt. I had showed it on here back months ago, kind of a thing. So I took one of the other ones that my grandmother had made. I don't want it to go missing either, but it's already got some worn spots on it and things like that because it's been well used over time. So if it went missing and I could never find it again, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I could take over one of my quilts. Not a problem with that. And I may do that. When I swap out this quilt, actually I wonder if I should take another quilt over and swap this one out. I know she's been there about 6 weeks, but they don't even, she doesn't sleep under it. They kind of pull it down the front of the bed. Yeah. So I don't know. Well, I'll take a look at it.
Well, not only that, you can go over and see the situation with their TV set and all other
well,
stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, I want to check all that stuff. But anyways, Bonnie says, I'm backing up here. Patsy says, I used to visit my mom and dad in the nursing home every day. It was the pits, nothing to talk about. I think we all suffer when we have parents in a nursing home that we have guilt. We have guilt that if we don't go over and visit them on a regular basis, if we don't try to do everything we possibly can for them and whatnot. And I think it gives us a lot of stress. I was thinking about this recently. This whole thing about decorating her room. Well, is that for her or is that for me? And is that because it makes me feel guilty? Yeah, it does. She is my mother. I guess I have to look after her. My sister, she just, she does her part and everything like that, but she waits for me to make all the decisions on everything because I've got power of attorney,
That's not unlike my family. My two sisters, when they were alive, or one of them, not one's still alive, but they made me, well, especially the one that was upset that I had power of attorney, made me do everything.
Yeah.
She sort of said, well, you have control of the money, so you have to do it. You have to make decisions.
Yeah, pass the onus over. And what really ticks me off is that my brother knows none of this.
Yeah.
He has no interest in it
whatsoever. I mean, she's got grandkids
yes, in BC.
But
that have not seen her in
quite some time. Mm-hmm. So I didn't go every day, but went quite frequently. I felt bad for my mom because she had some dementia, but she had good days and bad days, and she was almost completely blind too. So I just felt obligated to go see her because I used to go see her a lot when she wasn't in a nursing home too. But I just went fair bit. I used to spend a couple hours over there. So
yeah. Bonnie, I hope you didn't think I was snapping at you about the kids thing. I didn't mean it to sound like that. Yeah, she's your sister. Yeah, and we've already talked about that. But
and I don't know, your sister's kids don't.
They're not good. Well,
they're hard to say. I wouldn't think that either one of them would be very. They're a little bit immature.
They're a little immature in the social graces and things like that. But then again, they are in their mid to early 20s, and I think back when I visited my grandmother when she was in a nursing home, and I had very little to say to her. at the time. Mind you, she wasn't my favorite grandmother. If it had been my grandmother Bland, that would have been totally different.
Yeah, and my sister's kids never went to see my mother um, by themselves either. Of course, my mother had some dementia and would sometimes confuse who was visiting
Yeah.
her. So
Well, you see, I think that's what my mother's like too. Like, would like to see her grandchildren, but she never says she does. And when I even mention to her about my brother, and I say, "Have you heard from my brother? Has he called you?" And I never know if he has or not. She tells me, "No, I haven't. I don't know when I heard from him last."
when she says that about your sister too,
Yeah.
but at least you can find out from your sister when the last time you actually talked to
Yeah.
her.
My brother makes the excuse at the time difference. Like they're 3 hours behind us. Well, okay, and my brother still works. Yes, but not. I don't know if he's working weekends. That he could find the time. In fact, he could call on a Saturday morning his time. If he called at 11 o'clock their time, it would be 2 o'clock my mother's time in the afternoon. I mean, yeah, if he saves it until about 6 o'clock his time at night, it's going to be 9 o'clock out here, and my mother's probably in bed at that point.
Yeah, and the other thing is that like you said about the FaceTime. Well, the FaceTime hours are only during the day, during
Yeah.
the week, right? Well, okay, he's working during the week, but we all get days off. We all get vacation days and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You can take a couple hours off
Yeah,
to.
and my brother is a manager of BC Hydro, at least last I heard, and whatnot. I'm sure he's got some flexibility in all of that.
I mean, it's not that convenient, but
Nothing is.
But you could do that. I mean, I'd do that if I was in that situation.
Yeah, but my brother's always had a philosophy: out of sight, out of mind. Unless you tell him there's a problem and insist upon it and tell him what he needs to do, well, then he figures everything's okay. And yes, I don't communicate with my brother, except on an occasion. I send him an email, let him know what's going on, everything like that, and I get one word answers back. Okay, thanks. That's it. Nothing else. In fact, he never even texted me this year for my birthday.
Yeah, last year out of the blue,
Yeah,
we
out of
hadn't
the
heard
blues.
from him for
Jeez.
ages, and he texted him that happy birthday. Must have had a few glasses.
Must have had
of
a
wine.
few glasses of wine.
But anyway, but then there's sure nothing.
Yeah. But Bonnie says her mother's 97 but coherent and loves her grandkids and can chat them up. Yeah, my mother's not like that, and she's a lot
No.
younger. My mother's only going to be 81. I wouldn't be taking that quilt as if they wash it, they will ruin it. Yep. Cindy says handmade quilts need to be respected. I don't think they would give you and your family that. Well, no, they won't. I mean, the number of clothes of my mother's that they've ruined, but we knew in advance because of what Walter went through with his mom about the clothing situation. So we make sure that the clothes that we get her, and when I say we, my sister, that's one thing my sister does do, is when my mother needs something or whatever, my sister looks after that, because I really don't know how to buy, like, bras. I don't think she's even wearing a bra these days. I think it's just all loose and fancy-free.
My sister was so ticked off at me that I had power of attorney. She made me go out and buy the underwear.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Well, my mother
Well, I
doesn't.
could have gotten my other sister to do it, but screw it. I know what.
Well, my mother's panties are called Depends. And so, yeah, I don't want to even talk about my mother's underwear. No, not going there. Thank God I have a sister that can deal with that. Patsy says, I felt guilty and went every day, was working full-time, had children at home. Yeah, I know, that's the thing. And mothers are really good, aren't they? Oh, I'm speaking to a whole lot of mothers on here, so maybe I shouldn't say this. But you're all very good at putting guilt on your children. Regardless if you tell me you've never done that, I say, bull. It's ingrained in all mothers how to do that. Starts at an early age, they know what to do. Yeah. I took a quilt to my mother's nursing home that went missing. I told them if it didn't show up the next day, I would rearrange the place to find it. Guess what? It came back to go figure. Well, I think what happened with that quilt that went missing is I think they took it off my mother's bed for one reason or another. Maybe they put it in the wash, and I think it got put into somebody else's room. And because they supposedly looked everywhere and couldn't find it, I did press the issue. I didn't press the issue to the point where I was jumping up and down on people's heads. But I look at it this way. that quilt is probably at the old nursing home, and it's probably in somebody's room. And if there's some poor soul there that's getting some comfort from it or whatever, then okay, that's all right. It's not like we have a shortage of quilts. And it wasn't the Tree of Life one. So, B says, I was visiting nursing homes as a companion for the older folk from age about 13. That was in the late 60s. Well, B, good for you. Like, there are younger people out there that have old souls, I think, who get along really well with older people. They like to be around them in the whole bit. I was never one of those people. I'll admit it. I don't like being around people my own age anymore. They're too old. But I don't know. Bonnie says, those are the people that feel guilty when your mother dies. He might feel bad. Yeah, he might feel bad, but, you know, it is what it is.
I've seen that. There's a woman in the bed next to my mom's, of the room next door to my mom, and she had 3 children, and the one children would not come visit her mother.
The one child.
One child would not come and visit her mom, all during the time she was in the nursing home. And then when she finally passed away, she was the one that took the big fit that she hadn't seen her mother in a long time and all this other stuff. Well, whose fault was that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, Teresa said it's always the siblings that live furthest away that think they know best, better than ones who live closer and do all the work. One thing I will say for my brother, he has not interfered in any of this. He has stayed out of it. He hasn't asked me anything about my mother's financial situation. I mean, have to remember, I sold my mother's house, I got her an apartment, I looked after all her finances and everything, still do, and the whole bit. But my brother has never said one word about any of that. He hasn't said anything about the situation my mother is in at all. So he's kept out of it. And you want to know something? I'm glad that he did, because, well,
it can be hell if they start getting
Hi, Joan.
Involved in that.
Well, like you said too, maybe it's a good thing that he lives way out there, because, you know, my sister-in-law would be right in there like a dirty shirt and telling me everything that I should be doing. She's very good at telling people what to do and everything like that. And I mean, I don't want to disparage in public my sister-in-law, but I know who rules the roost in my brother's house, and it is my sister-in-law. And I have a feeling that why I don't have a lot of contact with my brother is, or why my brother doesn't contact me, is because of my sister-in-law. But I don't know. I try not to go down that avenue, because, you know, too many families split up because of all these kind of things. And it's not like my brother and I were ever close as kids anyways. We're 4 years difference in age, and like I'm the oldest, so, you know, whatever, it is what it is. Don says, I think parents need to instill in their kids the value knowing their grandparents and aunts and uncles. Oh yeah, I think that's true. I mean, I was lucky. I had grandparents. Walter did not. Well, he had them, but they were in Holland, so yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, we've got a crankcase here, people. I'm just going to get rid of them. Remove. Yeah. Report. So I'm just getting rid of that one. This is, what's this stream about? Because I had this one come on before, and this is someone trying to, I don't know what use they think. But anyways, only had this happen one other time before. That was a few weeks ago. Anyways, Billy says, hi Billy. Oh, hi Billy. Hi everyone, glad I could make it. Hubby in hospital, ICU, kidney failure, got to come home for a few hours. Oh geez, Billy, that's too bad. So sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so sorry.
Yeah, so hopefully things will work out okay. I don't know with kidney failure what they do. But yeah, well, we're sending you positive thoughts, Billy, with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, speaking of positive thoughts, let's stop talking about my mother. Right? And let's talk about what's Walter working on. Nothing.
I am. I'm still working on my jeans jacket from last week. I still have a couple things I have to do for homework for tomorrow's class. Nothing too intense. I just haven't done it yet. And I still have to put my buttons on my two shirts. But other than that, I don't know if I've been busy.
Well, you cut the grass today.
I cut the grass twice this week.
Oh, and you're out in the backyard playing with your crabgrass.
Yeah, pulling my crabgrass.
Crabbing your crab, yeah. Yeah, actually on this week's, my vlog tomorrow when it comes out, I've got a little video showing you our backyard compared to the neighbor's backyard.
Yeah, don't look at it.
Yeah, and I explained to you why we make why our backyard makes our neighbor's backyard look really good, and theirs is really good. Hi, Dana.
I know. Like this year, I had intended of putting more plants in the back, but like any year, I never seem to get around to it.
Yeah, but our container gardens are doing wonderfully. And I've got those on a little video thing for tomorrow as well to show you. But they're doing really, really good. It's so pretty because we have all these containers on our deck, and you know they're all lush and green and full. Our tomatoes are coming on now, and we eat a lot of salads now. And you know the reason being is they taste so much different. And I said this before: when you grow it yourself, it tastes so much different. From it. So we're going to have a lot of grape tomatoes. I called them cherry tomatoes, and I was told that's not what they were. They're grape tomatoes. So, but yeah, it looks good. So that's all you've been doing?
Yeah,
that and spend all day staring at your computer.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, well, what have I been working on? Well, lots of things. So, 3D printing. This is a Tudor house, and I am creating, well, maybe eventually will become a Tudor village. Now, I will have to paint this, and I've got another one, a little bigger one. It's a 2-story one that I've been printing for the last 2 days. In fact, the second story just finished printing now, and I have the roof to print on that. They're kind of fun, and I'm going to try my hand at painting these, see how they turn out. You know, make it look like stone in the front or wood or whatever. That's my idea. It could be a mess. Oh, string from the plastic. And of course, I've been making pin cushions, because what would a day be without me making pin cushions? Now, you know I'm working on this Christmas gnome theme for gifts this year. So here is one of my little gnome pin cushions. He's called Zen Gnome. He's like sitting in the lotus position kind of a thing. And I made another one that's a little bigger, same style, except I did it this way with the pin cushion. So now there's a tray here. So, you know, the idea, you could set this on the side of your sewing machine, sort of a deal, or close by, drop some wonder clips or some other little pieces in the tray as well. They do take a while. I'm printing them in rainbow. And yeah, I've got a lot of pin cushions right now. In fact, I have so many. I put in an order to Missouri Star Quilt this week because they had a really good sale on 3-yard cuts of fabric, $21 American. Well, even with the exchange rate and shipping, that is still less than I would be paying. Like, I would be paying a minimum of $45 plus tax for 3 yards. Well, it'd be 3 meters, okay, for us here at Ultimate Sewing. So I stocked up on some of that, and I wanted to get the free shipping, so I had and actually then I remembered, yeah, Missouri Star Quilt has free shipping, all right, but the free shipping is for Americans only, not for Canadians. But their shipping's not bad. It's $12.99 flat rate. Again, that's American. So I've dropped about $250 on Missouri Star Quilt, and we'll see how long this one's going to take. I've ordered some from them once before, and it took forever. And I actually complained to them about their shipping method because it was going all around the United States. I think it visited every state, and then it came to Montreal and sat there for a while. So they said, yeah, they knew there was a problem with that, and they were working on it. And that was over a year or so ago, year and a half ago or more, actually before COVID, so pre-COVID. And said they were looking into other things to improve that. So we'll see if it actually improved. But anyways, I have that kind of stuff on order. So I ordered all these glass head pins because they were glass head pins are expensive. Ask Walter, he knows. Because you bought those ones that time.
Yeah, I was doing a stained glass, a Tiffany style lamp, and to do it, you have to stick all the pieces of glass onto a styrofoam mold, and you have to use glass head pins to do it. So, and you need lots of glass head. You need at least about 1,400 to 2,000 glass head pins to do it. So, so yeah, I went shopping all over the place looking for glass head pins that were a decent price.
Yeah, so Teresa says Soya had their 108 by 108 quilt backs for $55 last night. Okay, that's wide back. That's 108 by 108. So 108 wide by 108. So that's how many? It's 108 inches. So 12 goes into 108. How many times? Doing math. I don't know. You got a calculator on your watch, don't you? Yeah. So do I.
9.
9 what?
9 yards.
9 yards. So
9 yards by 9 yards.
Okay, so 9 goes into 55, about 5, 6, 7 times. That's pretty good. $7 a yard. But the problem for us is the shipping and getting it across the border and the whole bit. That's why I never order from So. Yeah, I know they've got great deals, but yeah, I may never get it, or if I'll have to pay duty on it or something. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, you do for Missouri Star too.
Well, yeah. Well, maybe or maybe not. I didn't the last
so
time.
it's 3 yards by 3 yards. So,
yeah. So that's a pretty good price. Yeah, because I would pay $24 for a yard of wide back at Ultimate Sewing. Just backing up here. Teresa says, I found the allure. Oh, I'm losing it. Here, just a second. Let me scroll up a bit. I went off screen. Billy's son-in-law, or son-in-law's garden is full of tomatoes. And Teresa says, I found the allure of a lovely backyard pales after about 15 years of home ownership. By then my son was old enough and I expected him to at least mow the lawn, but the fight was not worth it. Yeah, well, that's the thing. When you buy a house and you look at it and you're always looking for lawn and the whole bit. Now, if you've got kids, I can see that. But we don't have kids. I keep saying, actually, I know what I want to do now, but it's never going to happen. I did an interview with one of the subscribers that'll come up in another week's time or so, and she said, when I asked her about her sewing area, it looked like she was in her house, and it looked very spacious. And she says, no, they bought, she called it an Amish shack or something. Amish shed, and it was, what did I say, 16 feet by 32 feet. And her husband fixed it all up inside. They put it in their backyard. She says it's about 5 feet away from her back door. It's got a little veranda on it as well, and I guess she does some dyeing of fabric at times, and so she can do it out on that. And her husband put in drywall and everything inside and wired it in the whole bit. She doesn't have plumbing in it, but she has everything else, and it looked fantastic. It's like having a whole nother little house. It's nothing but for your sewing. So that would be a wonderful way to solve our problem with the backyard. I've always said just pave it. But I thought that was a great idea, but I imagine that was pricey. So, and by the time you get done setting it all up and things like that, just looking here what people are saying, and let's come down. Billy says, when I order from MSQC, it takes forever. I sometimes forget I ordered it and I live in the States. Yeah. Our upstate, Joan says, New York Quilters Quest Shop Hop starts next week. I'll be spending on fabric. Yeah. So, shop hops are fun. 9 square yard.
Yeah, it's 9.
Okay, we're doing math. Teresa says, redo the math, Walter. Well, 108 inches long. Okay. Divide by 12.
It's 9 feet.
is 9 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, so 3 feet is a yard. So
Yeah.
it'd be 3 yards by 3 yards.
3 yards.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
okay,
Exactly.
So, but if you buy,
that's still a good price.
yeah, but if you buy a yard, if you buy a meter, that's not that great of a price, because if you buy a meter of 108 wide back fabric, right?
It's $24.
It's $24, right? So if you bought
so 3
meters
with 48 and 24 is 60, 72.
It's $72.
$72.
So you buy it for $55,
and then the exchange
right?
rate
plus the exchange rate
and then shipping.
Yeah, so it's like 66 or even more, I think. So
it's probably closer to $70 Canadian, and then shipping on top. It's no bargain for us.
No,
in Canada, no.
Well, for where we can get it, that is.
So far I've been okay with but their $5 shipping isn't for Canada either. No, American shipping have great prices on a lot of things, and what always pisses me off is for Americans only. Not only that, but a lot of them discriminate against Hawaii and Alaska. They say in the, what's the word?
Continental United States.
Yeah, and they don't include Hawaii or Alaska, which I think is kind of a bit of a piss off for those people. They're part of the United States. They're states. So,
I don't know if that's true for in Canada too, if they have to ship up to none of it.
Well, actually, yes, it is true, because I have seen it on a couple of Canadian sites that I've been reviewing, and they charge extra if you live in the north, in the territories, in like Yukon, Northwest Territories, or none of it. So, and we'll have none of it. I never get tired of that joke. But anyways, oh, well, Donna says, though, she ordered last week from Missouri Star, and she got her order in a week. So there you go. I don't know. It all depends, I guess. So
I mean, I ordered something from them a long time ago. They sent me something completely different than what I ordered. And then when I went back in, I complained about it, and they said, well, you can keep what we sent you, and which wasn't really overly expensive if I had ordered it. And you can reorder, right? So I went to reorder, and what I had ordered in the first place, they didn't have in stock. So I had to order something else.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying. I've been checking my order, and it hasn't been fulfilled yet. But I did order it on Friday, so maybe on Wednesdays. They're probably good Christian people who do not work on the weekends or whatever, or on Sundays, which is fine. Whatever. You got to have a break.
Well, they don't work here on Sundays.
No, they don't. So, anyways, well, that's not true. Some places do.
Yeah.
But the ones we deal with don't. Yeah. Rita says, hi, Rita. Would love to buy from American shop. I live in Australia. Postage is expensive. Yeah, and actually, if you see my interview this past week with Johan, he's from Australia. Makes the cutest little stuffed bears and things. And we've talked in that interview about what it's like to order things from the States to come to the Australia, and he says it's just astronomical. It's more than what you're actually buying in a lot of cases, which, yeah, that's too bad. But everything is, even in Canada, from one province to another province, shipping through our postal service is still expensive too. It's, I don't know, I think we're being gouged. I really do. But what can we do about it? They've got us by the curlies.
It's like we're being gouged for what is that, data plan on our phones.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. In fact, they had a report on that Canada, out of all the countries in the world, Canada pays the highest rates for cell phone access. Oh, there's Johan. Yay! Go ahead and make me. Your ears must have been burning, or your bear's ears must have been burning, Johan. But yeah, nice to see you here. Do check out the interview with Johan, because it's a great interview. That Johan. So, what else have I been working on? Well, I'm working on some more of my Christmas table toppers, and this is one out of a set of designs, embroidery designs. I just did this one this morning on black. I think it's going to look really elegant. Yes, I know, black is not a Christmas color, but that's okay. Let's think outside of the box. This is just the center square, and I showed you last week the one with the gnomes on it, and what that looks like. And I just put up my first tutorial. I had a request from somebody wanted to know what the cutting instructions were for that little table topper that I made. And my first reaction was, well, this is so basic. It's easy to figure it out. But then I got thinking, well, maybe they were a new person. And I don't want to get into the habit of doing tutorials because there are tons of tutorials on YouTube. But I sat down this morning because I was going to do another one of those, and I thought, why don't I video it at the same time and I'll make it into a tutorial. And my original thing was it was only going to take me maybe 10 minutes, so I was going to incorporate that into this week's Idiot Quilter episode. Yeah, it runs 32 minutes long. And so I've posted it as its own separate identity. It's up now. And there may be more in the future. You know, if I get a lot of demand for tutorials on something very specific, I will see. Doing a tutorial, and Johan can tell you this, when you do a video, takes a lot of time to produce something like that because there is some editing involved, and you know how I feel about editing. I don't. So, but anyways, so that, and I decided that the Idiot Quilter needed to have a logo. So I've been playing, these are not the final versions, but I'm playing with them in Artistic Digitizer, my digitizing program for my embroidery machine, and I came up with this. That was the first one I made, and then I made it a little smaller and I adjusted some of the stitches and things because I didn't want to be making 50,000 different color changes. And then this is the latest version, which doesn't look that much different from the other versions, but it's a little smaller and it's a little closer to the final version. I still need to do something about the jump stitches and that. But anyways, and I'm using this product from Monfil that has vinyl on one side, fabric on the other, and it's meant for making badges, and it works really well. I have no idea what it's called. It's not Badge Master. That's been around for years, and I have some of it, and I like this much better than Badge Master. But anyways, I thought I should have a little simple logo kind of a thing. So that I have been working on. What?
Teresa says tutorials are like my mom trying to teach me to housework. It took too long to teach me, so she'd just do it herself.
Thanks, Cindy. Yeah, like Johan says, tutorials take so much preparation and editing. Yeah, even for the simplest thing. The one I did this morning took me a couple of hours to do it. Yet I can do that block in a lot less time than that. But I had to stop and think about the steps. What am I going to... And I had 2 cameras going. And I had 2 different microphones. And so, anyways, that, you know... I'm not saying I won't do more in the future. But they will be far and few between. I can tell you that. And also, I just figured there's people doing what I do already out there on YouTube. So I'm sure they have lots. There's tons of YouTube tutorials. I know. I go to them all the time. Thanks, Judith. Thanks, Jeannie. Wendy says, Johan, try going to use clothing stores and look for fur coats. They can be cheap and real fur. I did and made mink bears. Ooh, fuzzy. Well, if you haven't seen the interview with Johan, check it out. Because especially I have pictures of his bears and everything. They look really great. Okay, so that's what I've been working on. Oh, I've also been trying my hand at some fabric painting, and I didn't bring it out here, but it's kind of a mess. So, yeah, Walter just stays quiet on it. I'm still playing with it. I'm going to do some thread painting on it and whatever. And we'll see. We'll see. It's an experiment. I'm actually doing a video about the experiment. Whether or not I'll post it for anybody to see, I don't know. We'll see. So, that takes us to my birthday. Yes, my birthday. That was on Wednesday. And Walter cooked dinner, and he made one of my favorite dishes of late. It was a Wednesday night, so you know that's Avante Wednesdays when we have Italian. And so it was an Italian dish. It was... Time to stand. Oh yes, we'll talk about these in a minute. Um, what was it that we had? The
Beef bolognese.
Bolognese, yeah,
Bolognese
bolognese
sauce.
on.
So I'll serve the meat sauce.
Yeah, meat sauce on. Well, yeah,
But I made fresh pasta.
and fresh pasta that he made. It was great. Um, and we did have birthday cake. Yeah, Walter didn't make it. It was a carrot cake we bought at Sobeys, actually 5 days before.
Yeah.
The fridge. It was all right. Still got a little bit less, but anyways, okay. Bye, Bonnie. Um, yeah. So it was I had a good time on my birthday, and Walter was dying to tell me what he got me, and he couldn't, and I now know why. And here we go. I have an iWatch, and Walter has. Show your iWatch. It's another. And Walter has an iWatch. And he had these iWatches sitting here 3 weeks before my birthday, and he couldn't wear his because then I would have said, "Oh, what? You bought an iWatch? Well, I'm going to buy one too," because he knows me too well. So now, did I want an iWatch?
I debated.
No, it was not one of those things. But now that I got one, yeah, I really like it. This does things I didn't know it could do. Like, I can play Dick Tracy on this. I can call Walter on the walkie-talkie. Are you available? It's checking for availability on you.
Yeah.
There you are. Hey, Mumbles.
Okay.
Can you not make it work, Mumbles? What's the
It's
matter? You
not
having a problem?
Yeah. It's not.
Well, maybe you don't have it turned on.
Yeah. Hey, idiot.
Oh. Well, I'm loving it, and it does more than just that. And actually, here's something that's funny. So, when I do my videos, and I use my iPhone or my iPad for that, I have a little remote control device that allows me to start the camera and turn off the camera, which is very convenient. Then I don't have to get up and hit the button on the iPhone. But it stopped working, and I couldn't get it to work anymore. So I went online to Amazon, and I found two different types. One was the same as the one I already had, and they were very inexpensive, like $10. So I bought that one, and then there was a 2-pack for about $13 of these other ones. I thought, well, I'll give them all a try. So I ordered all of them. Then I get my iWatch and discover that this has an ability to control my camera on my phone the same way as a remote control does. So I don't need those remote controls, but I have them and they work. So that's kind of a cool feature, but it's got a lot of cool things. So I really like it, and I like the fact that you can change the face to whatever you want and have some of your what they call complications, which I don't know why that name, but they're like, if I want to see the weather, it's on here. I can set the face up to have certain information.
It's sort of like functions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you can put up, there's a complication I have that puts up a calculator, and it puts up a calculator on your watch. So.
Yeah. Cindy got it when I said Mumbles. Dick Tracy. Shows your age, Cindy. Just saying. Yeah, the walkie-talkie thing's kind of neat too, but I like it. It's great. Yeah. So I'm glad. It was a good gift.
I wanted one for a while, but you know, it's the price and everything else, and plus they upgrade them every year. And I know that they're probably going to come out with a new one in September, but I thought, okay, this is time we're going to get one. And I thought it was a perfect gift for him. So
why?
No, because I wanted one,
and that's why it was the perfect gift
Yeah.
for me. Look what I got look at what Walter got for my birthday. So anyways, what else has been happening? Oh, we have a little bit of controversy now that we're at stage 3 of the reopening plan in Ontario, and I think it's just going to plummet us in another month or so into the 4th wave, because basically, let's run naked in the streets without masks or anything on, and let's kiss everybody we possibly can, and possibly even lick a toilet seat. What the hell? Throw all caution to the wind with this kind of thing. So I don't know. But anyways, we are kind of, I mean, now we can go what? There are some restrictions, but you can go indoors to dine. Table's supposed to be 6 feet apart or something.
And nightclubs are open to something like 25% capacity up to 250 people in the nightclub.
Yeah.
Which is still fair bad.
Yeah, and now we've got people who are being very picky about what their second shot is going to be.
Yeah, I know. Like, there's all these people that want. Right now, the supply of shots that we have are mainly Moderna shots, not Pfizer. So people are going in to get their second shot, and they find out it's Moderna, and they say, "Well, no, we don't want that. We want Pfizer." So they leave.
Yeah. And now, you know, we've still only, what was today's number? Ones with 2 vaccines in Canada is what, at 56%?
No, I think it's 50. It depends on which one which.
I don't know. It's whatever.
I think it's around 50, just over 50%.
Okay.
And but in our locale that we live in, it's 57%.
Well, that's still not high enough yet.
But actually, we're one of the highest vaccinated ones in the world right now. Higher than Britain too, and they're fully open.
Yeah, and look at what's happening in Britain too. The variants are taking over in there. They're saying, and that could happen here too. And of course, in the States, well, it's just like the hell with the vaccination. Who needs it? God's on our side. So, you know, all the Republican states, they're all sticking to their ground. Like, this is a conspiracy. I don't need a damn thing. God's on my side. He's going to be looking after me, stuffing my face full of grits and shut me up. Yeah, really. I mean, and then we're getting pressure from France, of all places, to open up our border, to let the French in. Well, why do the French want to come here in the first place? What, to visit cousins in Quebec? Maybe. But no. And they've even threatened sanctions if we don't open up. And then we have some provinces that want the tourism, of course, especially in Eastern Canada. And they're putting demands on our government, too, to, you know, allow for the free travel from any province in Canada back and forth, and to open up the border to the Americans because they want the American dollars. Niagara Falls area, they're pushing the government to open up because, of course, Niagara Falls is right on the border.
I think they're already talking about having the border open up around in August sometime for the Americans, and it's for vaccinated only.
Yeah, but you want to know something? People are going to play the system. There's going to be some slip by that one, the whole bit, because look at the way this whole thing's been handled.
Yeah.
Badly. Since day one. So, you know, we've talked about all of that before. But anyways, that's the stage we're in now. What I'm most concerned about, though, too, is come September, they're talking about the kids going back to physical schools. And kids under the age of 12 haven't been vaccinated yet. And the older ones, it's been a little slow on getting the shots in their little arms. And, you know, you've heard me say it before, children are disease bags. There's no two ways about it. They carry everything, they pass it on. And I just ran into a teacher friend of mine when we were over at the grocery store this afternoon. And
they recognized us with their masks on.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think they'll recognize people without a mask anymore. But I asked her how things were going, you know, because she's still teaching. Of course, I'm not. I'm retired, which I'm glad. And she says, yeah, it's been hell. Absolutely hell. And they've had no direction from the government or from the Ministry of Education or from the local school board, and it's all any messages they get, it's all mixed messaging. So, you know, they're all lost still, and I just think it'll be a mess in September. But those parents want those little buggers back in school. You know why? Because they're sick and tired of their kids. They want the teachers to be the babysitters. So
anyway, bye Patsy.
Okay, bye Patsy. But anyways, yeah, that's the stage we're at right now. I would love to travel, but we can't. And then the other thing that's now, this is not politically correct to say this, but you know, we're having a lot of problems right now. Well, we've had a lot of problems for a long time with our indigenous population, because basically 100 years ago, our government, for whatever reason, decided, you know, just to treat the indigenous people as second-class citizens, and they took all their kids away from them, put them in residential schools, and then killed them and buried them in unmarked graves. No big deal, right? Yeah, a big deal. And that's all we've been hearing about for the last couple of months.
Well, the kids, I think, got like a lot of diseases.
Well, they did. They didn't kill them. I was being facetious. But, they got diseases, but they really didn't let the families know that this was happening. When they took those children away from their indigenous parents, they basically stripped them of their culture, their background, everything. They were trying to make them into good little Catholics because it was the Catholic Church that pretty much was in charge or put in charge to man these residential schools and everything like that. So we have now streets in Canada that are named after famous people from history that if you asked anybody, the average Canadian, who was this person, they wouldn't have a clue. That street's just been that name forever. Well, in Toronto, there is a major street in downtown Toronto. It's called Dundas. Well, apparently this is named after a Scottish guy who came to Canada in the late 1700s, and he was a great proponent of the slave trade. So the Black Lives Matter people have been up on their high horse and want, to get rid of this name because of what it represents and this kind of thing. And they are. The City of Toronto has now voted that they are going to change the name of Dundas Street. It is going to cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars to change the signage. And then there's businesses located along that have been there for years, and they've named their business after the street they were on. Like Dundas and something or whatever. So now the big controversy is, do they have to change the name of their
plus
businesses?
Other cities has that name in their street names, like in Whitby that they have a Dundas.
Yeah, well, there's a Dundas Street in almost every town in Ontario.
Actually, a town in Ontario called
Dundas. Are they going to have to change their name too? Like, okay, I get it. You're naming a street after someone from history who basically
did bad things
that nobody knew about at the time, or at the time that person did them, they weren't considered bad or politically incorrect as they are today. I mean, yeah, barring the whole situation with slavery, like, I'm not saying that we should poo-poo that kind of thing, because no, we should not. But where's it going to stop? We have another figure in Toronto. There's a university named after him called Ryerson. Now they've toppled the statue of this guy. I forget what the heck why he was.
He was big into the residential schools.
Oh, was he too? So they've toppled over his statue, broke the head off and the whole bit. Okay, wonderful. And now the university is looking at changing the name to something else. Okay. Are there any names that are safe? Because I am sure you could pick any historical name.
I think New York is safe because all their names are numbers.
Yeah, numbers. Maybe that's what they have to go to.
Maybe they can't have a 13th Street and a 2nd Street.
Yeah, really. Dundas Street runs basically from Windsor to Montreal. Yeah, it's number 2 highway, which is a major highway in Canada, or especially in this province, in Ontario. But I mean, okay, I understand that you don't want to honor people who did things that are not acceptable in today's way. But I also think that isn't there better ways to spend money than changing the names of streets? On the statues, rather than knock them down, why don't you put a new plaque on them and state what these people really were? Give people a history lesson here. Leave the statue of Dundas up, but change it and say he was a major slave trader and blah, blah, blah. I get it, but I don't get it. I just think there's other things in our country that we need to spend money on before any of this. But who am I? I'm just a lowly little taxpayer. What would I know about these things? And I'm not being very politically correct. Yeah, surprise, surprise. Anyways, what else? So we talked about our garden. Oh, we are thinking about, and when I say we, Walter, new windows and doors on our house. We haven't gotten too far with that. Walter's still researching it. It's going to cost us major bucks, but
I mean, not all our windows, just some of them. And
yeah. Judith says, are they going to replace statues with only chairs and tables and brooms? Or a vacuum? Or maybe a vacuum. Yeah, whatever. And I'm sure they'll find something wrong with the names of those things too.
I don't know. Statue of a vacuum. I think it sucks.
Oh, Walter made a funny. Okay. Well, anyway, so back to what we were talking about here. So we're talking about new doors, new windows, at least on the front of our house. Because after all, we have been in this house for 26 years. It is a 26-year-old house, and we do have some problems with those windows and things. We have a big transom window over top of our double front doors that's a half circle. That one's going to cost us with that one. So, yeah, that's in there. That's in the future. We'll see. I like Jamit Singh's response when a reporter asked him about the cost of bringing clean water to the reserves. If Toronto didn't have drinking water, would that even be a question? Yeah, I know. Now, there's things like that that really are okay. Are we living in a civilized country? They don't have clean drinking water in some of the reservations, and that's a government thing. And why aren't they doing something about it? It's a health issue and the whole bit. Yeah. They should be concentrating on that. In fact, why don't you put your money into that first before changing street signs? Really, like they have already estimated it's going to cost about $200,000.
And then there's all the businesses that are kind of stuck with it too, because a lot of them say like it's Dundas Cleaners or Restaurant on Dundas or something.
Yeah, there's tons of them. Are they all going to change their names too? And like they're saying, they have to change their logo, they have to change their letterhead, they have to do all of that. And guess who's going to be paying for that if they do change that? It's going to be the consumer. And right now they need as much business as they possibly can get, so they say, to stay open. So, you start, and already they're putting their prices up because of COVID, because they're trying to recoup their losses. So this just adds to all of that. So, price themselves right out of the market for it. I don't know. This government that we have sucks. Well, it could be worse, because there are places in the world a lot worse off. So anyways, and yes, we got haircuts. And I said to my hairdresser, I looked down at the floor and went, ew. I said, maybe I should bag that up home, bag it up and take it home and spin it. Maybe I can make some yarn out of that one. There was an awful lot there. Felt 5 pounds lighter, I can tell you that. And did you really get your haircut? Yeah. Which one?
It's
number one or number two?
It's short now. Yeah.
But then I can't get my hair cut again for another 4 weeks because she's just inundated. And I made a joke, and I don't think it went over very well, because there was another lady getting her hair done in the salon at the time. And I says, yeah, I know. I said, you can't put me in on my usual every 3 weeks on this. I said, because we know that the women take a lot more time to get their hair done than it takes mine. So they're your first priority. And she said, yeah, it was true. Of course, mind you, she probably makes a lot more money from doing women's hair than she does from men. Because if they're coming in and they're getting color or perms or whatever women have done to the hair these days, I don't know if perms are a thing anymore. Yeah, I'm sure she makes more money off of them than she does from us, but I don't know.
Yeah, Teresa, I think you're right. If they stop getting the relief dollars and have to rely on customers again, there may be a lot that go under then.
Yeah, I think so. I'm expecting that when we're going to have sticker shock when we go out for dinner. You can check some of the menus online, but right now the menus haven't flipped over to in-house dining. If they flipped it over to like curbside pickup or takeout or whatever. But we were looking at one restaurant last night, and it's just a Mexican type Tex-Mex style place. Their prices, of course, were never good.
No.
But the Keg, which is one of our favorite restaurants, and a Keg has always been expensive, but they've gone up a little bit more,
Oh.
too. Of course, they went up. Oh, I got a ding ding. Hi, this is Erica from the Conservative Party of Canada. Can the CPC count on your support in the next federal election? Reply, hell no. No. So screw off.
How'd you get that message?
I don't know. Maybe I get ones from the PC Party all the time. I don't know. I haven't never voted for the PC Party. So, I mean, that's like, for those of you that are not in the know about what the PC Party is, the Progressive Conservatives, not so progressive, but very conservative. They're kind of like the Republicans in the United States. Teresa says, I've been bugging my son to let me cut his hair for over 6 months. His bangs are past his chin. Last week he finally asked if I'd cut it now because he needed to go somewhere an hour later. Yeah, well, glad that you're able to do that. We didn't have anybody that could cut our hair. So,
No, I could cut yours.
yeah. Yeah, ha ha ha. You think I'm going to let
I
you
was
near my
tempted
head
to
with...
use the razor and yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Teresa. How come they call me Erica?
Uh-oh.
Where'd they get that from? I just thought of that. That's... Or did I read it wrong? Now I can't see because it cleared it off. That's weird. Well,
Think about that.
yeah, I know. But anyways, or did they say this is Erica? Maybe they said this was Erica from the P. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That was what it was. Okay, never mind. The reason I'm talking about the Erica thing is because Eric is my middle name.
Eric, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
Eric is not Erica. But anyways. So, yep, so we got her ears lowered, as they say, and I'm glad for it. She cut it short enough, though I don't have to worry. By 4 weeks, I'll be fine. Unless we're in shutdown again, then we'll see. Okay, so, what else? Have we seen anything interesting?
Well, we saw The Quiet Place too.
Oh, yeah, that was a good movie. And now they're advertising that
Well,
it's
it
in
wasn't,
cinemas.
it wasn't because it basically ended like a continuation.
Yeah, well, yeah. The ending was a little bit disappointing with it. But we saw The Quiet Place 1, and that was okay, too.
Kind of like horror movies.
Yeah, Walter's got a thing for that. But here's the funny thing about that movie. Now they're advertising that it's in the cinemas, and we saw it on
Prime.
And we didn't pay anything more for it. It was part of our regular
Well, I think
subscription.
some of these, because that movie was supposed to have been put out a year ago, and sometimes it seems like Amazon, or not, it's Amazon, yeah. Amazon's been purchasing some of these videos. I guess they're getting a good rate for them as having the rights to show them to their customers. So
Yeah, Teresa, she was Erica. It's okay, I'm losing it. Yeah, every day I'm losing it. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I started watching something. It's a Spanish TV series, but it's dubbed into English. And in English, it's the cook something.
you don't remember.
No, I don't. I have a hard time remembering television shows. I watch them, and then I could watch the same one over and over because it's new to me all the time.
Is it on Netflix?
Or was it Prime? It might be Prime. I don't know.
Well, okay, well, I don't know. Well, I was going to look it up, but I think it's on Prime, but I don't know. Oh, well.
Yeah, well, anyways, it's the cook something. I've only seen the first 2 episodes. It's kind of interesting. I was watching too. It's a remake of the old series that used to be on TV called Charmed, and now they've done a more modern version of it. So I've started watching that. Okay, Cindy, bye bye. I was trying to think what other movie. Oh, we saw that Stephen King movie, It, Chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's another horror one. It wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because it was filmed in a town east of us.
Yeah,
called
that we've been to many times.
Port Hope. And it's just east of us, and it's kind of interesting when you're watching one of these movies that you see places that you're familiar with, right? And there's also part of it was filmed in our own town as well. The old house, the mansion,
yeah.
haunted mansion, that was built in our city, in Oshawa.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, can't remember where it is, but it was, yeah, they had a big thing in the newspaper about it. Was being used it was rebuilt as a horror house.
Oh,
for that movie.
I just assumed that was all like CGI or whatever.
No, actually, it was actually built up to make it look that way.
Oh.
I mean, they may have enhanced it through CGI, but yeah, that was in Oshawa.
Oh.
And the rest of the film was all filmed in Port Hope, and that's just east of us.
It's always interesting to see movies that are filmed in places that we've been to and know, like, and are in sort of our own backyard. There's a new Canadian animated movie coming out at some point in time, and it's all based in Toronto. It's called Red. I think it's a Pixar movie. Disney owns Pixar now, have for a long time. But that looks kind of interesting just because they purposely have made it Canadian. The person who's the writer of the movie and the creator of the animation, she is a Canadian. So she's won an Oscar before for some of her other work. I couldn't tell you what her other work is, but apparently she said she wanted to do something from her own home city. So she created this movie. So if you see the movie Red, I think it's about a girl who turns into either a red panda or fox. I'm not sure which one it is, kind of a thing. Then you know it was, well, it wasn't filmed because it's animated. So, but it has Toronto in the background. You can tell by the CN Tower, kind of a thing. So, yeah, that's all we've been watching on TV. Watched lots of YouTube. And, yeah, in the show notes, you'll find today a link to my latest Idiot Quilter. You'll find the link to Johan's interview. And there's our latest episode of So Chatty, where we talk about what makes a good quilt shop for us.
We didn't watch the Upside, but we saw the original one that was made in France. I forget what it was called. It was exactly the same.
Le Upside?
Yeah.
I don't know. No, so we didn't see that one yet. I think that's on one of the things.
Yeah,
either Netflix or Prime.
The American version of it.
Okay. Well, when did we see the French version?
It's about, the invalid guy that's he hires somebody to take care of himself.
Oh, yeah.
A quadriplegic or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was the French version of the movie was called The Intouchables. Right. Right? So that's the one we saw. We didn't see the American version, The Upside.
Okay. Can't remember if I liked that movie or not.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
Yeah. I guess it was.
He hired a guy, the black guy that helped him, and his trials and tribulations with this person.
Yeah. Bye, Angel.
And then they ended up becoming friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. That's right. Well, anyways, so I think that's about it.
Yep.
For us today. So we need to eat dinner before it goes cold. We're having gazpacho and salad. It's vegetarian night. So, okay, everybody. So thanks for joining us today. As always, if you would like to be interviewed, I need some people. I have 1 week's worth of interviews left. No, I have 2 interviews left. Takes me up to the 27th of July. And then I don't have anybody. I need to interview people. So don't be shy. And the upcoming interviews, one is with Fidel, who you've seen on here. Don't see Fidel today. He has a sewing room to die for. I can tell you that. And then one with Adrienne Bennett. And Adrienne Bennett is really, really interesting. She is a milliner. She makes hats. And they're quite fantastic. So those 2 interviews are coming up. Okay, Joan, bye-bye. And Wendy says they've been watching Empire Boardwalk. That was a show that was on
that's
TV,
been
right?
on for a while.
I've never watched it.
We watched a bit of it.
Did we watch a bit?
A long time ago.
Maybe we should try it again. Okay, so I think that's it, people. We're going. What are you giggling at?
No, Joan wrote the message, retracted it, and
Yeah.
that just says by Guy.
Oh, we get it.
That's okay. It's spell check. I'm sure it'll get you every time.
Okay, we're going, people, because we're just rambling. What else is new? All right, so thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next week. Check all the things I'm putting up next week, and have a good week, everybody. Say goodbye, Walter.
Bye.